welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm Linda, and joining me on the show tonight are the two drum chapel icons of Rangers Radio. It's Stevie and Bridgeman. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, El Capitano, and I'd like to pass you over to the real icon of drum chapel. That'll be the Bridgeman.
Thank you very much, old boy. Good evening to yourself, Linda, and yourself, Stevie, and the technical guys in the background there. Let's hope everything goes all right tonight. By the way, loved last night. Loved it. Here we go. To all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is listening in. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, guys, what a night that was last night. I hope you've both recovered. I've just about recovered, but I don't think my nerves, my heart, my blood pressure can take any more of this. I don't want any more games like that. Bridgeman, are you all right? Have you recovered?
To be perfectly honest, no. I think that it was, you know, that song that we brought out, Frank, it was 4 Seasons. Oh, what a night. That's what that was last night. Oh, what a night. Every single Rangers fan today, every single Rangers fan will remember that game last night. The score, the afterwards, the nonsense that was going on afterwards, and of course the BBC's news reader getting out the wrong score. I'll always remember this. Just incredible. Thoroughly enjoyed the result, and it looks good.
Stevie, ultimately, right, we got the victory, and you know, they deserve a lot of credit, but we'll unpack the game a wee bit and we'll get into it in a wee bit of detail, but just give us your initial thoughts. What was it like watching that? Were you like everybody else, roller coaster emotions?
Oh, man, listen, the furniture gets kicked about my living room. I mean, I'm not a platinum member of my gel, so it was only the platinum members like Southside and that to get the tickets for Pittodrie, no. But watching the game last night, man, I mean, we started off well, Linda. We really did. We started not too bad, and you could have possibly been 2 up at one point. And then we just petered out the game. And credit to them, they come into it a bit, you know. Then they go to free kick, they score with it. Then it's their tails are up. They come out, they start better in the second half. They get the goal again. And then you're looking to say, look, we're still flat here. We're not getting it. And the manager makes a few changes. They come on. You start to grab the ball a wee bit and start playing a wee bit again. You start moving forward and pushing. And then you get, I mean, Scotty Arfield come on. He had 2 chances before he gets first in. And does the take any of them, but my God, see when he takes the next 2. Dearie me, man. Man, wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. We went absolutely nuts in here, just like every bear would have went nuts. And do you know who I was really pleased for? I was really pleased for the travelling support, for the fact that I heard the venom and the vermin that the Aberdeen fans were singing all through that game, and it must have been hard to sit there when they were 2-1 up, listen to all that, you know, your Glasgow slum, the 66, the whole kit and caboodle. So I was really, really pleased for them. And a wee bit of the old no surrender, fight and die attitude at the end of the game, that'll do is lovely. And I was really pleased for the boys coming back down the road, Linda.
Yeah, absolutely, Stevie. Similar to yourself, I was so delighted with the fans. You know, there's still quite a lot wrong with the team, and we know he's got a job in his hands, Michael Beale. We know that, but I was so delighted for the fans because most of them will begin back up again on Friday night. But Bridgeman, Stevie obviously summed up the game brilliantly there. I mean, when you think to the start, Bridge, I thought we were really quite on the front foot. As Stevie said, we scored a good goal through Sakala. I think we saw the good, the bad and the ugly of Sakala, didn't we, last night? And we were really quite on the front foot, weren't we, Bridge? We got a good goal, and probably Alfie should have put us 2 up within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we could have been 2 or 3 up. We get to half time, but we do the stupid things. Of course we do the stupid things. We don't put the ball away. We start to the passes start to go a wee bit astray, and footballers slipping, not once, but maybe 4 or 5 times during the first half. And that's maybe just one player. Lots and lots of slipping. So you got a question mark on the footwear that they were wearing and what advice they've been given. And I'm watching it and I'm saying to myself, nah, we're going to hold on. It's going to be 1-0 at half time, and they'll get a wee boost and they'll come out. And that boy scored what a goal he scored. What a goal. That was a fabulous free kick. By the way, Mr. Sands, I'm sorry I said it a couple of months ago, but shouldn't have people who are not centre halves in at centre half. I know it's times of trouble and so on and so forth, but really and truly, I'm sorry. He made some bad decisions last night, and it cost us that free kick, and it cost us that goal. I don't think our goalkeeper covered himself in glory and both those goals, but I will not go too much into that. We're only blaming people. What I'm saying is Mr. Sands gave away a free kick, and it led to a fantastic goal. So well done to the scorer. Was it Koo or what was his name? I can't remember his name. But you know who I'm meaning. Huh? Jute, right? Jute, right? Or Duck. That's what it is, Duck. sorry. But, I know, a fabulous goal, and I was flat as a pancake. I got to half time as flat as a pancake. I thought, we're going to come out here and they're going to have a couple of substitutions, and away we go. Let's go and get on with it and get the lead back. And my goodness gracious, we just started the same as we were at the end of the first half. We were dreadful for a while. Then we started to come into a wee bit, and all of a sudden, we scored a lovely goal. Well, by the way, they missed about 2 or 3 really good shots as well, you know. We did too. We missed their goalkeeper, a couple of lovely saves and a couple of lucky ones as well. But, you know, it was a very close game, very tight, and there was a lot of venom in the tackles. There's a lot of crap going on in the pitch, and probably a lot of crap going on off it as well. But when they scored their second goal, I thought, nah, we're not going to win this. I just couldn't believe it. But when he brought on 4 substitutes, I thought, here, he's going to try something here. I never dreamt we were going to score, but extra time, for goodness sake. Just don't think about it. Wow, was I wrong? And was I proud to be wrong? What a fabulous set of goals. Not great goals as far as great goals are concerned, but for us, great goals. Magic stuff, just magic. And you know when they started saying that one, maybe Big Wilson hit it with his arm or something like that, you know. Yeah. I thought, oh God, don't say that.
There was quite a few VAR decisions as well, Bridge. They looked at quite a lot of incidents.
Yeah, what you've got is the biggest anti-Rangers referee in our professional league, and that's Mr. Collum. He's absolutely shocking against the Rangers. Some of his decisions last night were woeful, and the people they've got in VAR are just the same people that are anti-Rangers all the way through in the last few years. They're just terrible. And we're going to be stuck with the same thing. Column's going to be in charge of the VAR against the Celtic, and we'll have cheating beaten as a referee. I can't believe it.
Bridge, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Of course.
Stevie, the first half, as you said, we started well, and then after Alfie missed the chance, I thought he probably could have done better, Stevie. It was a kind of turning shot. I suppose the goalie kind of made a good save, but it was kind of a right at him. But see, after that, Stevie, we lost our way, as you said, the next sort of 15, 20 minutes. Do you know what happened? I mean, can you give us any of your thoughts and what started to go wrong for us?
I don't know, Linda. I just think Aberdeen grew into the game after we'd a couple of missed shots. Sakala had one out of the bar, and Alfred his turning shot, which, let's be honest, the keeper didn't really know a lot about it. He's there and stayed out, but he should have buried it. We should have been a couple of goals up. And I mean, listen, we all know the old cliche against Aberdeen. They're going to fight, kick, line, cheat. And I just think they didn't really... Did McGregor really make a save in the first half? You know, until they got the free kick. And it was just one of the ones. Once they got the free kick and scored, of course, their tails are up coming out for the second half. I couldn't put my finger on what happened, why the game we kind of just petered out the first half. Yeah. We started great and just petered out in the first half. Then they get the Sands gives away the free kick, and I've got to agree with Bridgeman. What I was scratching my head at is you've got the boy Ben Davis on the bench. How's he not in his position? How's he not playing if he can come on and play? He should have been in there once. Because Sands was struggling a wee bit. And Bridge was right. He did make a few wrong decisions. And of course, one of the wrong decisions was just wiping the boy out. I don't think he had much of an option or the same, but
No.
I've got to be very controversial here, Linda and Sarah. I don't know what Alan McGregor was thinking about. He should never get beat where he was standing. Never, ever. He took the wee took to the left and it can expose him to the right on side, but I still believe he should have got to that. I think he was kind of at fault a wee bit.
Yeah. But, I think when he looks back on that, Stevie, he'll know himself, because as you rightly said, I don't know, sometimes they try and cover too many options, don't they? You know, he's taken a step to the left and then he's tried to recover and it's just went right over him. I think there's a lot of people that do think Alan was could have done better there, and we'll talk about their second goal. I mean, there's a few folk think that I could slightly done better with their second goal as well, but I don't know. But see the free kick, Bridge, when you look at Sands, and I know he's playing out of position. First of all, Sakala, he loses the ball, and that wasn't the first time he did it in the game. And he goes down, but he doesn't get the free kick. But then Sands is on the wrong side of the player, something that he does quite a lot. And I know it's not his natural position, but he's in trouble, Bridge, isn't he? Because he really has to make the challenge, probably.
Well, he's no goal side him, and the guy got goal side has Sands. A lovely pass by them. It's great work from them. Very poor possession work by us. We lose the ball, and this happens, and that happens. And a lovely, beautiful ball up the park. The guy first timed it right into the boy's path, and he got goal side him, and he chopped his leg from the outside in. And it was beat. The guy beat him all hands up. So as far as I'm concerned, he took one for the team, if you follow what I mean. But we somehow or other we managed to let them go. What a wonderful shot the guy had. Our keeper I think the keeper was a wee bit late in getting there. Maybe a wrong decision by the keeper initially to try and nudge left and then come back again. But, you know, that's the only thing I could criticise on that. Just a very poor challenge to give away a free kick that causes a goal. If they'd missed the goal, if they never got a goal, I'd say, well done, Sands. But you know, this is what you did wrong. But we could see, everybody saw it. It was the boy was goal side him, and once you're goal side to somebody, it's painful. It's painful for the person. And there you go. I thought he was going to get sent off. I actually thought Colin was going to send him off.
I think when he got the booking, we probably were all thinking that he's potentially somebody that is going to get sent off. I think there was an overall 10 bookings in the match, and that included a few of the subs that get booked. So, Stevie, we go in at half-time, it's 1-1, and you're thinking, right, they need to come out and try and play with the same tempo as they started the first half. And I don't know about you guys, but watching it, you know, your family, and you're saying to yourself, right, we're not really capable of keeping clean sheets in these games, and now we're going to have to just outscore them. But they come out in the second half, and Stevie, Aberdeen were by far the better team, eh?
They wanted it more, plain and simple. They came out with their tails up and wanted it more. And I mean, if you're Michael Beale, let's be honest, you're probably saying to the Rangers team when they come in, just keep it together and keep doing what you're doing. Because that came out of absolutely nothing, that free kick. They get a goal and then they're in half-time. But you're totally right. They came out and they wanted it well on us. It's as plain and simple as that. And then they get the goal, which I don't know. I'm sick to my back teeth of Alan McGregor getting beat for some distance out. I don't know how it happens. I don't know if it's his positioning or his positioning's right and he moves out of position again. I don't know where it is, but he seems to get beat with a hell of a lot of long shots, you know? Yeah. And I really do. I'm going to be controversial here. I think we'll show Alan McGregor, Stevie Davis and guys like that all loyalty, and I think it might this season might be coming back to bite us in the butt. But the bottom line is they wanted it more, 100%. Came out the traps the second half. They got their goal for the wee boy for Liverpool. I can't mind his name that they've got on loan for Liverpool. He gets
Clarkson.
Clarkson,
aye, that's it.
Yeah. But Steve, even the build up to that actual goal, they hit a ball and they cross a ball into the box, and you hate to pick on Sands again, but again he doesn't clear it properly. He clears it right to that boy, one touch and in. And I know he's playing out of position, but surely that's basic stuff. Just clear your lines.
I'm going to tell you something. The boy's hand looked dead in his feet. Yeah. He looked as if he was breathing through his butt. I'm going to be honest. it just, I don't know if the boy's got a touch of the flu or what he's got, but it just looked absolutely dead in his feet. And you're totally right, that clearance, he's got to do better with that. He's got to get that further than that. Yeah. And of course, the boy brings it down, it bobbles up lovely for him, and he just belts it right in the bottom corner. But defensively, we were absolutely woeful. I mean, I don't think Big Connor Golson came back to. There was too many Rangers players off a boil. There really was. We were absolutely woeful. It was a terrible watch. It really was. And the way we started there, I thought, wow, we look good tonight. We look as if we've got a wee bit of confidence. But the Hibs game, we're taking that into us. But no, second half, woof. Deary.
In Bridge, so the manager makes 4 substitutions at the one time. I don't think I've seen a Rangers manager ever do that, but could stand corrected. And he brings on Lundstrom, Wright, Davies, and obviously the man of the moment, Arfield. And you think, well, surely to goodness we're going to push on. You rightly said, Bridge, that Arfield had a couple of chances to score before actually he got his goals. He had a brilliant volley. I think the goalie had a really good save. And then Tillman played him in, and he was on his left foot, Arfield, and he shoots right at the goalie. And at that point, Bridge, I don't know about you, but I thought this isn't going to be your night.
Exactly, yeah, you're right. And a number of times in the evening when we had chances to shoot from, let's say, 18 to 20 yards, and our shooting at times were quite poor from people that can shoot, you know. But I thought Morelos had a couple of shots that the goalkeeper managed to somehow or other fumble or save completely. But the goalkeeper, I thought, had a lot of luck. It was missing the ball, he spilled the ball, and we just couldn't get in there to put it away up to that point. And I thought their luck, just like you said, Glenda, their luck was holding out true, you know. It doesn't look as if we were going to score. But really and truly, when we got into that extra time, and I thought, they were parked inside their own box, and we still couldn't get the ball in to any of our players by the look of it, you know. It was really frustrating. But we got a couple of crosses from the byline and managed to make some danger. And by goodness gracious, a lovely shot from Ryan Kent, and the goalkeeper spilled it again. And there was Arfield to pop it in. Oh, just wonderful. Just wonderful. What a feeling. Great.
Magic. And Stevie, when we got the equaliser, I don't know about you, but I kind of thought, oh, well, okay, it's 2-2. You know, it's still 2 points dropped, and you're still quite deflated. But when that winning goal went in, as Bridge said, it was just incredible, wasn't it?
Oh, unreal. Listen, I think when we got the equaliser, we all thought, well, look, at least we never get beat, you know, and you're kind of trying to take the positive out the negative, you know, and no way in the world we thought we were getting another one. We get the first one, but 95, and then you're thinking, right, game restart, and the blow the whistle, and that'll be it, and it'll be a share of the spoils, and the boys will feel a wee bit better coming down the road, but dearie me. How did somebody tell me, how did Tillman get that cross there? It was unreal because he went back, forward, back, round, back again, took the boy, and how he managed to get the ball, you know, for the second one. It was unreal, a good bit of work for Tillman. But listen, I don't want to skip away back because I know we're at the end here where we'll get the winner, but I've got to say, Ryan Kent playing in the free role, he showed some really good stuff in the first half of the first 15, 20 minutes of that game. He looked at the Ryan Kent we all know, playing in that free role, but again it just all petered out. But my God, see when that goal went in, Linda, I'm not joking you, me and my boy, the Christmas tree's wrecked, the dogs get 2 broken legs. Honestly, we went mental in here, like most Bears houses all over the place. We would have went absolutely tonto. I heard an old guy on a podcast today saying his wife thought he fell off the couch. Well, the Bears must have been gone absolute nuts.
I think I heard my neighbour screaming, and you know, at this loud roar, and you know, it's a couple of doors along as well. So I mean, it was just unbelievable. And the thing is, Stevie, you can't help yourself because you're when we're 2-1 down and we've no equalised, you're saying things like, this bunch of players are going to get him the sack. It's just the same old. And then when they get the 2 goals, you fall back in love with them immediately.
As Bridgman says, the BBC announced it that Aberdeen won 2-1. I mean, they were 2-1 up in that game in the 94th minute. The 94th minute, they were 2-1 up in that game. So it was just unbelievable. I mean, we were on the brink of getting beat and we turned it around. And fair play, it's the only positive we could take out it. They didn't give up, they just kept going. And that's the only thing really positive I can say. Scotty Arfield came on, made an impact. And that's all I can say. Sakala got his goal, and I've got to say, I don't think I was wondering how Alfredo stayed in the park at one point. I really did. Yeah. And I stick up for that boy all the time because he does get it hard, but you've got to see it how it is, and he's not been doing it for me, Linda. And if you're sitting in that Rangers bench, that young boy, you must be saying, "Come on, get me on," Yeah. But brilliant. I went home happy, and I went to my bed like Tiger. I've got to admit.
Good stuff. So we've summed up our thoughts in the game, and we're going to hear from the manager. It's his presser after the game. So if we get ourselves on mute, here's our manager, Michael Beale.
How would you assess that game, Michael? I didn't want to be a party pooper to the players, but I think we need to be better. I thought they showed 10 out of 10 for character and mentality, especially at the end when obviously I made the 4 subs and asked us just to play a little bit free and gamble a little bit. Delighted, obviously Scotty come up with the 2 goals. Learned a lot again this evening. Started the game well, and then once something went wrong for us, we sort of didn't look like we was together in the way that we wanted to play. People weren't not trying hard. I think that we just made some simple mistakes. Some people may be overly trying. We need to commit to the style. And I was delighted, obviously, we got the win, because obviously for a long period of time it looked like I was going to get beat.
That's a very fair assessment. I think I was watching it dispassionately and I thought there's lots of good players out there, but it's not a cohesive team yet.
No, and I think you can tell that they've gone through some trauma the last few weeks and months, and we didn't start the second half well. I thought most of the first half we was in good control. We scored a good goal. I was happy with the way we were playing and was a little bit fussy in the final third. I thought Ryan Kent in particular first half was the standout. Right on half time we play a silly ball into midfield and don't secure it, end up giving away a free kick and find ourselves 1-1. Don't start the second half well. It's a heck of a strike from a boy that I know quite well. And then after that, we really, really struggled. So we made the 4 subs. We changed the way we were playing. And ultimately, it's come off tonight. So sometimes fortune favours the brave. I would probably say 10 out of 10 for character and mentality and 5 out of 10 for performance. We need to keep improving.
What that's shown you, Michael, that not speaking about character, that's what's been called into question for the last part of the season. But when you had to come from behind twice against Hibs for Bunso again tonight, so you've got a base here, a foundation. Yeah,
definitely. I think for me, listen, I can't expect too much too soon. You know, we've probably had 10 or 12 sessions and we've come into 2 games against the team 4th in the league and the team 3rd in the league away. I've come here many a time and played well and not come up with a result. So, listen, I thought it would have been harsh if we got beat. Naturally, I'm delighted we won, and I'm sure that Jim is feeling sick tonight because I thought his team they actually performed well. Fair play to him.
What does that say about Scott Arfield's temperament and character? Just to keep his head and all that, right in the death twice.
He's been training ever so well. And probably the form of Malik's probably been keeping him out. Malik did very well for the 3rd goal as well. But Scott, he's a boy that I love working with because he's super optimistic. And there weren't many in blue shirts in that last 10 minutes playing with optimism. I didn't feel he was the one that was gambling. He was the one that was willing to make the run in the box. And it just shows you that in moments, you know, you need players to step up in big moments, and I'm delighted for Scott tonight because it must have been tough the last 2 games missing out because he has trained ever so well.
So you can't expect too much too soon, Michael. Do you feel that at the moment it is points over performances, given that you've only been here for a certain amount of time, so many injuries as well?
Definitely, I think at Rangers, it's just Rangers or any big club, it's always points over performance in the short term, and then you have to bring the other bit up. I'm a bit of a perfectionist in that sense. I want my team to play a certain way. I want them to be clean on the eye, but the most important thing is to win. I thought we played in patches some nice stuff, but we look vulnerable defensively still. And listen, until we can get the centre halves back in the team and the back four back how we want it to look, that's no slight against any of the individuals, it's just as a collective. Previously I was here, it was something that we prided ourselves on. So it was great that we scored 6 goals in 2 games. I'm over the moon with the 2 wins. I don't want to sound downbeat. I just know that we've got some work to do. It would be wrong of me to sit here and be dishonest about that. I think that's clear for everyone to see. I'm delighted with the character of the team. Delighted with the energy to keep going. We've looked stronger than Hibs late on. We look stronger tonight than Aberdeen late on with our legs. So question marks around fitness hopefully will start to go away. We've got no short of character and togetherness. I just think at times we look a little bit anxious, and there's going to be some conversations about that.
What did you make of Conor Goldson's return, and how big can that be for you?
Fantastic that he's back. I don't think anyone realises, other than myself and Conor and the rest of the squad, how little he's done. If it wasn't Conor and it was a player I didn't know, maybe I wouldn't have trusted him and trusted his body as much as I did this evening. For him to get through 90 minutes is fantastic. We're getting to the stage now where Ben should be fine as well, and I think I thought you saw that once Ben come on. I thought you saw that we looked a little bit more stable. And again, that's nothing against John or young James that have played there in the last couple of games, but they are midfielders. I'm just delighted to get out of here with 3 points, because as I said, I've come here before and dominated games and gone home with nothing or a point, and it's hurt the football club. So to go back with 3 away from home is a good sign. We go again on Friday.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Everyone back in, chaps?
Yes, we are, Skipper, we are.
Yes, we're all here.
Good. He's always, well, we've not heard an awful lot from him. He's obviously only been in the job a couple of weeks, Stevie, but he seems to be quite honest in his views, and I don't think he's he's under any illusions about the task in hand. When his face at the end of the game, he's shaking his head. He probably can't believe that we actually got the 3 points, but very much, very honest in his summing up there, Stevie.
100%. He's fair. He was even fair about them. He could have given them a wee bit of praise for coming into their application and that, but he summed it up nicely. Listen, we're a work in progress under him just now, and he's probably just the same as us, relieved to be out of the line last night. He knows there's a lot of players just coming back. There's still players to come back. He knows there players playing out of position still at Sands, etc. So he knows we're a work in progress. Look, I don't think there's a better alive that wouldn't have took a 3-2 win before a ball was kicked. I mean, we all would have accepted that before the game. It's just the circumstances. We were woeful. It was a bad watch at times, and he just summed it up nicely, didn't he? For application, find desire at the end. And then he says, but we're woeful in between, weren't we? Aye, fair assessment, and as a true Rangers manager, he kind of get the opposition. He tells it how it is. He doesn't need to lie and cover it up and say they're brilliant and they're known, stuff like that. He's pretty fair with his comments.
Yeah, Bridge, he did actually give Aberdeen a bit of credit, because obviously, we've acknowledged that they played quite well. They gave it a bit of a go, and they don't do that in every game. We know that, but they certainly always raise their game when they play Rangers. And I suppose it is quite good that he did give them a bit of praise, Bridge, because you can't get away from it. They did play all right.
Well, look, I'm delighted with the guy as a manager. His honesty is just marvellous. And that's the way I want him to go on. And you'll hear Big Stevie and myself, Southside and Oxford, we all watch the game. You've said it yourself. We're not stupid. We see some of the failures of our team. We don't necessarily blurt it all out. But we see we've got failures here and there, or weaknesses. Let's call them weaknesses. And he sees it. So he's watching the same game as us, and he's got virtually the same comments as us, as I've noticed. And that's fine. I'm happy with that, delighted. I don't want him to be making the same comments as me, because I get a bit wild and start throwing things all over the place. But we don't want any of that. So I'm quite happy. He's very professional, and I like the way he's actually telling the players, we know you want to win it. I'm pleased you won, but my God, you better play football. You need to start playing football and hold the ball. Do it all for yourself. Give away stupid ball. That team absolutely murdered us about 4 times, and we lost the ball. And key positions, midfield pass, gone astray. All of a sudden, they were past us. 3-4 people driving down the top of our defence. Can't you have that? You'll lose. You'll get absolutely murdered. Fortunately, they never scored a lot of goals, and there's some lovely shots, missing the post here and there, Also, may I say, there was a couple of times that the ball hit the Aberdeen player's hand/arm, and we never got in from it, It wouldn't have been a penalty, but it would have been a free kick for us, But that kind of thing isn't happening. That's me going on the referee's game, so sorry. Yes, I agree. The manager is a breath of fresh air.
And Stevie, he mentioned a couple of players. He singled out Ryan Kent, and you'd mentioned Ryan Kent already, and I agree with you. There's a lot more to come from Ryan Kent. We know that, but everything a lot of the things that were positive about our play last night, the positive things that we did do, they came kind of through Ryan Kent. But we need to stop the over-reliance on him, though, Stevie, because we need other players to step up, because it can't just be about relying on Ryan Kent to turn a bit of magic on to help us win games. It's the same with the boy Tillman as well. We've got to remember that he's not played a lot of senior football, but when you look back in the game, those were the 2 players that kind of got us over the line in terms of chance creation, and obviously Arfield managed to get the couple of goals at the end, but probably, I don't know about you, but they kind of stood out a wee bit in terms of player performances.
Aye, Ryan Kent for me is a far better player with a free roll than hugging that touchline, because they just get yourself. Most teams come to Ibrox, and even at their own home grounds, they play this low block and they double up. They double up, and guys like Ryan Kent, I think with a free roll, they can't double up on him. He's dragging players all about the park, and he gets that wee bit of freedom, and I think he'd be a better player. And I think, as you said, there's a lot more to come for Ryan Kent. He's only young. We know what he can do. That's the annoying thing, the frustrating thing about Ryan Kent. We do know what he can do. And talking about the boy Tillman, I totally agree. The boy Tillman is he's got some football. He's got some feet. He's got some brain, football brain. You can see there's a player and a half there. We've got to give the guy a chance. He's just arrived in Glasgow. Our game's totally different for the German game where he came from. He's not played a lot, but I'll tell you what, he'll be a right ball. He's a right baller. He could be a right good player. And boy Tillman, he's only a young guy too. So just let's see where it takes us, and we'll see what happens for there. But listen, it's no longer a January window, and I believe the boy Beale will want to put his own touch into that team too. And we can't afford any work in progresses. We've got to try and get a couple of season pro in there and hit the ground running straight into that team. And I think through time, we can't have players not playing in the right positions. I know we've been plagued with injury and whatever, but it's just been unfortunate with our centre backs. But you've got the boy Ben Davis sitting on the bench, and the boy Sands is struggling. And then he comes on anyway. So if he's in the pool and he's on the bench, he must be fit. So how's he not starting? Connor started. And what Beale was saying there in his interview, if people only knew more or less what Connor Golse has obviously played through some sort of pain barrier or coming back to want to play for the jersey. Basically, that's what he's saying. Well, if that's the case, then how's the boy Ben Davis not doing the same? It's just wee things matter. But listen, Ryan Kent and the boy Tillman, you've got 2 players there, and if Ryan Kent's got that free roll under, believe me, he'll be a far better player, because people then, he's dragging teams all over the park then, because they'll not be able to double up on him.
Yeah, he's not stuck out in the wing as well. Kind of under Gio he wasn't he? Because he liked the wide players to stay wide, and then it started, that old horseshoe pattern all the time. And Ryan Kent's just looking like a different player, and let's hope he can keep that going. Bridge, just talking about the defence, Michael Beale mentioned Connor Goldson, and obviously Stevie's talked there about Goldson coming back. Quite remarkable that Goldson's actually one of the first ones back out of all these injured players, and that was a really serious injury he had. I think obviously we've appreciated him more, Bridge, when he's not been in the team, eh?
Yeah, a case of you don't know what you've got till it's gone type of thing, I think we saw last night, it wasn't a fantastic player in any way, shape or form, but he's the way he can talk the talk. So I would suggest he's probably about 70%, 75%. I don't think he's quite up to speed yet, and he made a few mistakes, and you can see him didn't know whether he twist or stick, and sometimes. But I think it was great to see him. I'm so delighted for him. He's back in there. He's got to do it. He's going to do it for us, and his shoulders are getting a wee bit. I thought at the end of the game, his shoulders were a bit sore carrying some of the players in there. I have to say this, so forgive me, everybody who's a big fan of his. I am a fan indeed. I think Tavernier has to waken up. He has to waken up. There's something not quite right. Oh, Mr. Tavernier.
Bridge, I think we've been joined by a caller. Ian, are you in, Ian?
I'm here, Linda, yes, thank you.
Welcome to the show, Ian. Are you a first-time caller?
First-time caller. I'm phoning from Hales down in the Midlands.
Oh, go on yourself, pal.
Great stuff. Nice to hear from you. What's on your mind?
My pleasure. Just a couple of little things. I've followed Rangers for over 50 years now. I've seen some great sides. I've seen some average sides. Seen some average players and some world-class players. The one that's disappointed me more at the moment, our captain. I think he's absolutely awful at the moment. Defensive-wise, he can't defend. You see him struggling, waving his arm around, passing the blame elsewhere. I think he's shocking at the moment. We need leaders at the moment, and I don't think Tavernier's a leader.
Okay. Ian, I don't know if you've seen anything on social media or in the press, but apparently, and this is obviously not an excuse because he hasn't been playing well, but we know he was carrying that injury, but apparently he's had the flu all week and he travelled up in his own. He didn't stay with the team, and he only played apparently because we're so short numbers. It might just be
that earlier on, Linda, yeah.
But I still think you're probably right. He's not hit top form at all, and he was playing with an injury as well, and they've come out and confirmed that. He's obviously very important to us because he never seems to sit any games out, Ian, doesn't he not? So who else then are you thinking that is not playing as well as the obvious ones?
It's easy to be critical at the moment because of the injuries we've got. Sands is not a defender.
No.
He gave us a goal against Hibs, poor. Aberdeen's second goal last night, poor again. We've got out of jail 2 games. Ross County is going to be just as big a test on Friday night, and then we've done all it can be asked for, 9 points for the 3 games before we play the Smellies. And we need to be, everybody who's playing for us that day needs to be on the ball. That's probably an important game at Ibrox. We've had against that lot for a long time. 9 points is a lot at the moment. Can we claw it back? It's happened to them, it's happened to us. There's always hope, but we really need to improve a lot. We're giving away a lot of silly goals. We're having to come out, play for the back, one down. We lose a goal, we seem to lose 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah. And Ian, we're obviously got a makeshift defence, and there's just no doubt that it's cost us all season, you know, with all these horrific injuries that we've had.
Yeah.
And, you know, do you have a bit of hope that if we can get that settled back four, obviously we need to have to pick up his form, you know, early signs, Golson and Davies, when they did play before they both got injured, looked to be maybe forging a good partnership. In the left back position, we've got young Devine, he's doing his best, but I mean, what other team, you know, you've got your left back and Borna Barisic, he's away at a World Cup, they get to the, you know, the third and fourth playoff, he would be back by now, but obviously he's still away, and you've signed I suppose the supposed brilliant young talent who's got a 3 month, I know he's well into his recovery now, hamstring injury. You just couldn't write the script for that, could you? I'll just bring in Stevie.
At the moment, it's like the hospital. It must be bad for the Rangers people. They're always getting somebody injured. But a massive big plus last night was 3 goals working at Kerem anyway, because I hate that lot as much as they hate us. I promise you. Always have done ever since Vigilante's injury. They hate us with a passion, and if that really hurt them last night, great stuff. Couldn't have to a better team. The one positive of last night was getting Big Golston back. How much he's been missed because of he's been a stalwart for us for the last 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
How badly missed his run. Last night it was fantastic.
Yeah. Stevie?
Aye, can I take Ian's first point about our captain?
Absolutely, yeah.
Of course you can, sir.
I heard that myself last night. Definitely no excuse either from my side of the coin here, Ian. He did travel up the road apparently himself and isolated himself the rest of the team because he had the flu. Now that's all the social media stuff. I don't know if that's 100% kosher what we've been told there, but for me, James Henry Tavernier, as Robert Wilder calls him, he's a nice guy to have, right? He's a loyal guy. He's a good player for us. See his numbers. When you look at the amount of games, the amount of goals for right back, no, that is brilliant. But do you know something our whole team's lacking is a bit of guile. There's no an enforcer. There's nobody there that will kick somebody for you. And that's my whole gripe about this Rangers team.
Yeah, we've no dig, mate. I agree with you 100%, pal.
Aye, we're all too nice. We had an Ian Ferguson, a John Brown. You could go on and on and on and on and on. I know that's not his team, and I know it's and you shouldn't. But we are really, see when you're playing Aberdeen, you know it's going to be one of the nights where they're going to do everything. They're going to kick, lie, scratch and cheat, and we're just too nice. Do you know something in that game last night? There was a few times maybe we could have had a penalty kick where it maybe hit Ross McCrory's hand or nothing. You watch the reaction of the Rangers players. There's nothing. There's nothing. When they're seeing that's a man came up across the road, dearie me, they're running the referee, they're shouting, they're lying, they're cheating, and they're asking for everything. And I just think we're a team where we're just a bunch of nice guys. And sometimes in games we get bullied. And it drives me up the wall. It drives me up the wall, so it does. And by the way, on that was the downside. On the upside, I'm going to Dingmo on Friday night, and I gave them pie of the year last year, if you can remember right.
That's made my Christmas, mate. Every day on Friday night, mate, I wish all the lads that's come up to Dingmo a safe journey and a safe journey back to their families. 3 points for the Rangers, and to everybody listening, have a great Christmas.
Oh, thanks very much.
You too, Ian. Well done. Cheers, pal.
We are the people, mate.
Yeah. Call in again, Ian. It was great to hear from you.
My pleasure. You enjoy the show. You have a great night.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Ian.
Cheers, mate.
Take care, pal. All the best.
There you go, Linda. First time caller. Fantastic.
Great call, Stevie, wasn't it? Brilliant call.
His address, I'll send him a pie for Dingmo away.
Well done, pal. Well done.
I'll be able to walk with the envelope by the time it gets there.
Bridge, Ian made a couple of really good points there, didn't he? You know, you can tell how much that win just meant to everybody last night, and you know, it's Aberdeen. It's, you know, they talk about this big rivalry. I don't think we really see it in any way, shape or form. We just know that they seem to try a bit harder against us, don't they?
Well, that's the truth then. You don't need to look too far away when teams play that them up across the city. I'm not saying they don't want to win a game of football in any way, shape or form, but I think the way they budget, they probably said, well, we're not going to win any points after Celtic this year. We might win something after Rangers, so we'll get stuck into them, you know, for two reasons. One, we want to win some points, and the other, we actually don't like Rangers. So I think that's one of the reasons, or two of the reasons, why they play better against us, because they believe that they're not going to get nothing off them, because everybody's going to for them, all the officials and all the rest. That's what I feel, and they're probably right. Probably feel the same thing. But for Rangers need to march on for this, and that was a big positive, huge game, huge 3 points. We'll not got a bigger 3 points than that, I don't think. So we'll get two massive 3 points, one against Hibs and one against that mob, Aberdeen. So now we've got to go up to Dingwall, come back with 3 points, and we're happy, very happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we mentioned Connor Golson earlier on, so we've got his reaction after the game, so it'd be nice to hear what Connor had to say coming back from his injury. So if we get ourselves on mute, here's the reaction from Connor Golson.
Connor left it late, but 3 points tonight. What was your thoughts on that game?
It wasn't obviously pretty. But again, it's 3 points, and we said in there that probably the last two games, I think, in the last 6-8 weeks especially, I've been watching obviously from the stands, and we probably wouldn't have won those games before. And hopefully now we can get a bit of confidence back as a whole group and start picking up 3 points more often.
Yeah, and how important was that spirit from the squad to really keep fighting for those goals to the very end? No,
it was, because, listen, I've been the same as the fans I've had to watch, and it hasn't been nice because when we've conceded goals, it looks like we can never come back into games. And obviously the boys have tried the best, but it hasn't happened, and we haven't created chances. Whereas today we kept going, and luckily got 2 chances, and Scotty put them away.
And for you on a personal level as well, obviously coming back into the starting lineup today, how did you find that?
No, I'm happy. I'm absolutely knackered. I've trained twice, but I want to play. I knew whenever the first game was that it was going to be hard, and I knew that I have to get that out of the way and hopefully try and recover now onto Friday. But I just wanted to play as soon as I could, and I'm really happy to be back.
And these two victories under Michael now since he's come in, how important is it to keep building on these moving forward?
Yeah, it is. As I said, I don't think it's the best that we've played, and I don't think it's the best we will play, but at the same time, over a season, you have to pick up 3 points playing ugly sometimes, and hopefully with those two victories now, it can build confidence, a home win and away win against two of the better teams in the league. So hopefully now that can give boys confidence and give the whole group confidence to now go into Friday and get another 3 points.
Yeah, and it obviously is a quick turnaround into that game and another trip north against Ross County, but can take momentum from this result tonight.
Yeah, lovely. 3 days, but no, listen, it would have been a lot worse if we hadn't won the game. We've won the game. The change room's a happy place. We'll be in tomorrow, and I'm sure that the manager will want to analyse some things and how we can improve, which we need to. But at the same time, we've got 3 points, and it makes for a happy changing room.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that, Fox. Well, we've been joined by someone who's maybe just back down the road from Aberdeen. We've been joined by Southside. How you doing, Southside?
Aye, how you doing, Linda? You try to say something happened last night. I was twisted or something. Certainly. No, I'll tell you as I get back at 20 to 2 in the morning. So that's what happened. But on with esteemed panel members this evening, two legends at Rangers Radio, and you yourself with your own unique fan club. Feeling a wee bit out of place tonight.
Southside, talk us through that game last night. I mean, we've been over it in a wee bit of detail, but just from the fans' perspective, give us a wee bit of a rendition in what that was like.
I think as you're going up to the game, that everybody's full of confidence in that, you know. Yeah, you're looking forward to it. I thought we started quite well. You know, it was going to take a wee bit of pressure. We know the defence is is no the way we want it to be. So you expect a few chances, but I thought when we got in front, and I thought probably maybe after half an hour they sort of came into it, but I thought we were going to go into half time, if I'm honest, 1-0 up. On reflection of the free kick, every time McGregor gets beat, he's normally three yards off his line, and I thought for the angle that the boy put the ball into, I thought he could have done better, but probably just keeping Alan McGregor to the standards that you normally accept it. I thought he'd have got that, being gone his near to that side, Linda, you know.
Yeah.
So for it to be at half time when it was 1-1, it was a wee bit disappointing. I just think we didn't start the second half at all. Just didn't seem to get much rhythm. And it got to the point where we lose that sloppy goal in the second half. And then you're just thinking, you're hoping that you're going to start creating chances. But up to then, I thought he was bold putting 4 subs on. And if I'm honest, I don't think they all really done much when they came on, to be honest. Don't influence the game as much as they thought they might have. But see, at the end of the day, when you've travelled up there and, you know, you could hear the hatred coming through the stands and that against you, but see, to this day, what we've done in the last couple of minutes, it was amazing. It certainly made the journey down the road a lot more happier for everybody. But it was a hard game, but I think we made it harder than it should have been, Linda, to be honest.
Yeah, and Southside, see when we got the equaliser, there's all these wee clips on social media doing the rounds, and it's in their end, and obviously they're absolutely gutted. But we're all thinking, well, at least we've not lost the game, but it still feels a wee bit like a defeat. But when that third goal went in, you know, when it pans in over to the away fans, you were going absolutely ballistic. It must have been just like utter disbelief.
I've got a few bruises in the old kneecaps this morning and upside down. Bears phoning Tappy and all that, saying sorry, but honestly, sore elbows. But it was absolutely tremendous, you know. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Supporting Glasgow Rangers, isn't it? And that's the feeling that it gives you. And I mean, with some lunatic that still in a crow's face, I'm a grown man running down, pulling faces and doing stupid gestures and all that. And then you see them running away back up the stairs, you know, it's unbelievable. But no, it was tremendous last night, especially coming out the stadium. You know, the Bears are singing and going potty, and it was a good journey back down the road, believe me.
Superb. Stevie?
Linda, can I speak to Mr. Platinum My Gels?
Yes, absolutely. The floor is yours.
No bitterness there, Stevie. No bitterness.
No, how you doing, big man?
Southside, I'm ever so pleased that you've come down the road and had a brilliant journey down the road. I said that at the start of the show. I'm pleased for that away support, first and foremost, because the vile songs that they had to suffer during that game was just, honestly, it had me. I was angry myself, never mind being there. But listen, is there any truth you get up with a seagull supper when the Rangers scored?
No. Oh, what a night, but mate, honestly, you know what it's like yourself. It's a bit of your journey up the road, and you usually share a few sherbets and that, you know, when you're no driving. That's a good thing about it, isn't it? So, but it was a good result, mate. We know the team's got problems. We know that squad's going to change. It has to change, or Michael Beale will not have a job. Simple as that. So we know that. But see, now, as I said last week, people will probably sick listening to this. See, I don't know if I can take much more excitement. We need to see Alec for a box soon, I think, if it's going to be like that, Stevie. I know he said we'll get some excitement on the journey. But
and I'll give you a wee hint. I might be going to Dingwall and not a car, a hearse, so you can
Well, we're on parade at 2:45. But you know what it's like, Stevie. This team's going to change, and Linda, we're going to change this squad. It's got to change, and it will change. And that's the thing. But the tune that he's getting out that squad, because let's not kid ourselves, that team a few weeks back would never have fought back to that, you know. So he's getting a tune out of some of the players, and now we've got another 3 points in the bag, and we'll hopefully get another 3 on Friday night.
Yeah. Southside, you know, fans are just talking about the next couple of games. Obviously Ross County, you guys will be there on Friday, and we've got Motherwell before this, the Old Firm Derby. But we simply just have to try and get the 6 points, and if that means that we just need to outscore the opposition, I mean, it would be better for us if it was kind of a couple of easy 2-0 victories Southside, but we simply must just get the wins, eh?
Aye, it's probably it's points to our performance really, but aye, Dingwall will be the same. They'll probably put up a bit of a fight, but I'd like to think that we've got enough in the squad that will get the goals, and we should be able to beat Ross County hopefully a bit more comfortable than it was on Wednesday night. And then, like we say, we've got a home game against Motherwell, so we should be able to do the business there surely. And then we absolutely batter them on the 2nd of January. And that will do for me. And then we can look at it for there. That's all our focus is on, Linda, as Rangers supporters, about the games coming up.
Yeah, definitely. Bridge, are you glad to hear Southside made it home in a one piece?
Oh yes, absolutely. Look, anybody that goes to these games, Mark, I know all about going to these games from the past. Obviously, I'm not fit enough. Well done to him for going. But my goodness gracious, some journey. Some journey. Oh, well done. Take my hat off to all the guys who go. And Big Stevie, I hope you're taking some pies with you on your road up to Dingwall. Then you can get one in there and see the difference.
Bridge, I'll tell you right now, I'll be taking frozen pies, and if that Rangers team don't get the Rangers but I am. Listen, Bridge, I'll tell you right now, the boys, see Southside. I seen his own personalised flag there in Aberdeen last night. I seen the Southside flag and a wee photo flashed up.
That wasn't a real bit, was it?
No,
Southside.
It's real, but it's no actually Southside, as in, it's no.
No, it's no my flag.
No,
but you use it.
No, I don't use it. I've been doing this road before. That guy, whoever flies that flag, fair play to the boy. See him everywhere. I've not actually seen him. I just see the flag. So the guy goes everywhere. So fair play to him, whoever it is that flies the flag.
Yeah, good stuff. Southside, I mean, Michael Beale was fairly honest in his summing up, wasn't he? We were talking a wee bit about that. He's not trying to sugarcoat everything, and at the end of the game he was just kind of standing there shaking his head, and he didn't go overboard about the victory. He's obviously quite realistic about what's ahead of him, I think.
As the final whistle went, I mean, it'd be sort of, once we'd sort of stopped dancing about and picking each other up, we sort of looked there, and Michael Beale was on the park. He wasn't again at the fist pumping or anything, he was just applauding, the support. But he knows he's got a big job, Linda. We obviously all agree that he's no daft. This is a massive, massive gamble. He come up here, he knows what the club's about, and he knows what sort of state it was in. And I think he knows he's got a big rebuilding job. So, but he's got to get what he can out the players. And I think going forward, he's got to get the transfers right. I think when we go for players, they'll need to be players that are going to come straight into that squad and play.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need.
Yeah, I think he said, one of the pressers that he doesn't want, is it fillers, I think was the kind of a phrase that he used. But I think, as you say, he's got a big job ahead of him, but I think early indications, he obviously made some changes last night as well, didn't he, about the way that we obviously the subs, but he also changed how we were playing to make us a wee bit more kind of attacking. But okay, it's great to hear from you. You're going to stick around because we're just going to build up to the tune just now. And
aye, okay.
Good stuff. We'll maybe get some callers in after the tune. So you get yourselves on mute. We're going to have a tune.
Who's that team they call it Angels? Who's that team they all adore? They're the boys in loyal blue and the Scotland gallant, and the hunt to show the world what they can do. Some people say the Real Madrid, the biggest football team. I've even heard the Anderlecht, the best they've ever seen. There's Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur too. There's Arsenal, Chelsea, Blackburn, just to name a few. Who's that team they call it Angels?
you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that, Fox. Everybody back?
Yep.
Good stuff. So the game last night, we obviously went into it in a wee bit of detail. Southside, we haven't really talked about any kind of individual players, but we obviously we talked a bit about, Scotty Arfield, we mentioned Ryan Kent. But in terms of like the players that started the match, did anybody get pass marks from you?
I thought I thought Kamara started quite well. I thought he played decent for probably a good 25 minutes, I thought, in the first half. I thought the midfield weren't too bad at the start. I thought Jack and him were all right, but I thought he was probably better at the two. I thought, so probably was a pick of that at the time, Linda, watching the game, because your midfield's got to win the battle and try and go and create for you. And I thought at that point we were on top for most of that first half.
Yeah, see Kamara, obviously he's just coming back into the team, Stevie, and he didn't play an awful lot under Gio in terms of getting a consistent run, but there's still times I think when he's kind of going forward with the ball, Stevie, but he then always seems to want to turn and just go back. It's trying to get him to be a bit more forward thinking, isn't it, and even get himself into the box at times. Stevie?
Sorry about that, Linda. I was doing a bridge, man.
Oh, sorry.
You've got an unsung Glenn Kamara. He's a Rolls Royce. He covers every blade of grass when he's on song. And you're right, he plays a lot of sideways and back passes. I wish he would be a wee bit more forward, but at times, maybe how we set up sometimes. And you're totally right, he never got a lot of game time under Gio. So let's hope Mr. Beale can get a song or two of him and get him back to the Glen Kamara. He's one of the guys I would like to keep, to be honest. He's one of the boys that I would like to see keeping. Kent, if he's playing in that free role, I don't know, Southside agrees, he looks a better player when he's got a free role and he can wander about that park and do his stuff, because he's not getting two players marking him out the game because he's hugging that touchline. But Glenn Kamara, for me, I'd like to keep him, and I'd like to try, as you said, don't try and go forward with the ball. Don't keep checking out and turning and playing it back or playing it sideways, It'd be good if he could just have that wee bit of more confidence and go forward with it. I agree.
Yeah. Bridge, we were talking earlier about Sakala, and he took his goal quite well. I know his first touch was poor, but he followed up. He managed to put the ball away. But we then saw some of the sort of bad things that Sakala's got in his game, and he gave the ball away that kind of led to the free kick. And I think sometimes with Sakala, Bridge, you're just always going to get that, aren't you? You'll get good moments, and then you'll get moments that just aren't so good.
I can't disagree with a word you said. I think the other two stalwart bears there that are listening to us at the moment, they'll tell you the virtually the exact same thing. Most of the mistakes when Sakala's on the park are made by Sakala. It's just something about him. But when he's flowing and the ball gets in front of him, much like Morelos, I must admit, you put the ball in front of him, and if he can catch it, he'll have a dig, which a lot of our players won't do because they prefer to nice wee passes to give it to someone else to get a wee chip in and so on and so forth. And a lot of those wee chips in are for Tavernier at the back post, who for some reason or other is not quite there at the back post yet. However, I would like to say that Kamara did have a good, I would say first 20 minutes he was very good. The rest of the game, it was the same as most of the other players. They struggled a wee bit. I don't know whether the pitch was killing him. He slipped a lot as well. So these things were in my mind. And I'm not trying to take anything away from anyone. Sakala definitely blundered, gave the ball away when it was more difficult to get. It was more difficult to give it away than to hold it. And he gave it away to, and they set themselves up with a really good move, led to the free kick, got themselves a goal at it. And that must be, you hang your head in shame. These mistakes are just unbelievable and unforgivable. So I don't know what Sakala's going to do. I don't know how we're going to handle Sakala. If he can't gauge what he's going to do with the ball, how they can make mistakes, and I'm not getting on him that way, but if he's in a good space and so on and so forth, and he loses the ball, all of a sudden there's a charge up the pitch and we're flooded, And I think we need to watch what we're doing with him and play him in a different position, put him out wide or something, Because he's in key positions like old inside forward positions, and he's great going forward, as I say, but he can't do anything when the ball's trying to come back. He's murder.
Yeah. Southside, how did you guys feel that him and Alfie were playing together up front? I mean, they linked up quite well. For obviously Alfie played the ball into Sakala for his goal, but generally in terms of Alfie's overall performance, what sort of marks out of 10 would you have given him?
Alfie?
Aye.
What, 4?
4.
I thought he was stinking again. Didn't he produce anything? I didn't get a shot at goal. Yeah. No, he's running about in the Rangers jersey, I get that. But he's no creating, he's just not doing the business. That's it, plain and simple. And I know he got the tap in against Hibs, but if he hadn't got the tap in against Hibs, his general play in that game and all wasn't very good either. Alfie's good in the last couple of minutes when you're putting the balls in corners and you game it and he's holding on to it. I mean, he got influenced to score alright. I know you get excited by all day when we score a goal. He's gesturing to Aberdeen fans, gets his cell about him, So that was the mentality of him last night. I just think he's going through the emotions in the Rangers jersey. I think Sakala, Bridge, slightly unfair a wee bit. I know the boy jumped it. I'm trying to do this for memory, Bridge, right? After a litre of vodka and a few beers, I've not even seen the game back, so I'm trying to have my memory to be. I think Sakala got robbed in the touchline there that way. The boy nicked in and nicked it off him, but I think going forward, I mean, you look at it, the ball hit his toe, rolled up his leg, I think, and then he tried to shoot. It comes back to him, he puts it in with his left foot. Well, when only Sakala could do something like that, as you say, he's a bit unpredictable, but he's got 2 goals. He's in 2 games again. Linda playing up beside Alfie. But I think when Cholak comes back fit, I think Alfie, I would put him back on the bench straight away.
Yeah. Stevie?
Aye, I've said it at the start of the show. Alfredo, I mean, it's just not been doing it for me either. You trying to tell me we've not got somebody in the youth team or the B team or whatever that couldn't come on and do what Alfredo Morelos is doing now? I'm sorry, but he's just not cutting it for me either. He's not cutting the cloth for me at all. I keep saying, I keep sticking up for the boy because he does. People look for him to do something, they're going out their road to look to book him and stuff, but as Southside says, the silly booking last night, shouting at the Aberdeen fans, kicking the ball into the Bears, and he gets a silly booking, and then you look at his contribution of the game. What did he do? I mean, tell me, what did Alf do? He's got to do better. I mean, this is a guy that his contract's up in a couple of months' time. He should be playing out his skin to try and stay in at Rangers. But I've got to say, I think it's new time. And maybe I'm sorry to say, and I hope maybe it proves me wrong. I think it's time for Alfie to move on. I really do. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't think you're alone in those thoughts. And I think, Kent is looking like perhaps a player that you would want to keep around, but we're obviously still wanting a lot more from him, Bridge. But certainly with Alfie, he's not doing himself any favours. And as Stevie said, sometimes it is just time to call it a day and move on because, he only costs, £1 million and, he has given us some rewards, but I think the club's been very good to Alfie as well, Bridge.
Yeah, he's made a good reputation with Rangers, and Rangers have relished the how good he's been, and he's carried us through a number of European ties for sure, and he's been key to our charges up the league and maintaining our second position and things like that. So I'll get great. I'm a big fan of Alfie, and I don't like to say the negative things about him, but you can't help it. I still believe sincerely, and I don't know why I do it, but I believe he's way overweight, and that's killing his game. His match fitness is just not there. He's probably the best part of a yard out. And guys that have played football before, and you need to know, but they know what I'm talking about. So his reading of the game isn't there. His anticipation in the game isn't there. And when he gets the ball, he doesn't sometimes know what to do with it. When you push the ball in front of him, as I said a wee bit earlier, much like Sakala, push him, a lovely ball just in front of him and let him get a shot. He's still got a thunderous shot. He's still got that. For goodness sake, his close game. Sometimes he ran the game for us as a centre forward and pulling up the defence suit, bundling him over, doing all the things that a good centre forward can do with a lot of strength. And he had that and a lot of ability. And I thought he was the best player the Rangers had for a couple of seasons. But my goodness gracious, you look at him now, he's a mere shadow of the man, a mere shadow of himself. So he has to do something. And I think Mr. Beale's coaching staff have to get him on a strict diet regime. It might not be diet, I might be wrong. It just might be the way he's got his strip on. But I think he's way overweight and way too slow.
Yeah. Let's hope we get Joe back for Friday. I think from what Michael Beale was saying, it was maybe just a bit too soon. They didn't want to risk him, but there's definitely going to be changes. Downside, were you guys a bit surprised that we didn't see young Lowry? I mean, he brought on Scott Wright, and again, you don't want to single players out, and sometimes it's difficult to get into a game, but surely to goodness, we've got to start seeing a wee bit more of Lowry.
I wasn't surprised he didn't start. When we're chasing the game, do you think we're being a forward-thinking player and got a level of ability? But I still think he's a wee bit still off getting in that team, Linda, to be honest. Yeah. I think Scott Wright, I've defended him on here a few times, and I'll tell you what, I watched him come on that park, and for me, no, I'm afraid on that performance. I mean, you can get the ball and run a few yards with it and pass it, and then run into players and hide, and then you try and look for it. When he's trying to look for a pass and you're looking at where Scott Wright is in the middle of that park and he's in amongst Aberdeen players, you think, get to the line or go and move so you can receive the ball again. So I think bringing him on, maybe come Friday, Linda, if we're having to make any subs, you might see Lowry. But I didn't really expect to see him last night, if I'm honest.
No, I think, Stevie, when we were watching it, it was a case of we weren't surprised that we weren't expecting him to start. But now, he's bringing on still people like Scott Wright who's just not cut it. He'll have the odd good game here or there, but as I said to the Southside there, it surely is time if we're bringing people off the bench, people like Alex Lowry, surely he's got to be given a chance.
Aye, listen, I'm not going to take any prisoners here. There's people playing for Rangers that shouldn't be there, in my eyes. I mean, one of them is Scott Wright. Scott Wright shouldn't have been a blue jersey. I'm afraid his efforts and endeavours are absolutely shocking. Sakala, for me, I don't think he's good enough for Glasgow Rangers, but I'll tell you the one thing he does give, he gives everything he can give in a game. It might not be the standards, but he gives you everything. He'll try everything, and he'll do everything. 1 minute he doesn't look as if he's ever played football in his life. The next minute he'll do something brilliant. That's Sakala, the good and bad of Sakala. But Scott Wright, what did he do when he came on last night? Let's be honest, he was woeful. Absolutely woeful. And if you're Alex Lowry sitting on that bench, you're going to say, come on, man. Alfredo Morelos, how he stayed in the park was beyond me. Because Alex Lowry, you're looking for somebody to create something. That young boy's got a bit of a swagger and he's got a good football ability and a good football brain. He could maybe open something up for you. And Alfredo's bringing nothing. Sakala, for me, shouldn't be at Rangers, and neither should Scott Wright. And that's the truth. And I think we paid a price by showing players loyalty as well. Your McGregor, Stephen Davis, Scotty Arfield and these guys. We paid a price for showing these boys loyalty. And I know that's a big can of worms I've kind of opened up. It's just my opinion. It's not the show's opinion. It's just my personal opinion. And I can't wait to get to the January 1 day to see what Michael Beale's going to do. We can't afford any more projects. We need seasoned pros, good pros. Don't be just getting somebody in for $1.5 million or something. Just go and get a right good player for $3 million. Rather buying 2 or 3 players for that, just get the one $3 million good player that you can bring in there. And I can't wait till Big Cholak, Big Ryland comes back, because he's been buying. So let's get him back and play the way we've been playing, and hopefully with Tillman and that, and hopefully we can get somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely, Stevie. When you look at some of the players we're going to welcome back, and we've obviously got Lawrence to come back in as well. Sometimes you forget about him. So we've heard from Connor Golson. We've also got Scotty Arfield's reaction. So let's hear from the hero of the moment from last night, wee Scotty Arfield.
Scott, a remarkable ending to that game. Just give me your thoughts on those 90 minutes.
Well, very important. It was very important that we started this week, with the games 20 tonight, and then the game the 23rd was very important for us to start the right way. And then for the first half, we controlled large parts of it. They get a good free kick at the end. The boy does great to score it, and then it's a poor start to the second half, conceding the goal, and then again it was about us try to get back into the game, and it only takes one big moment to change it. Even before the goal, I probably should score myself with a left-footed shot inside the box. So it was all about getting the right thing, and you never know when football can change. It can change in the blink of an eye, and we've had that done to us so many times over this season, and in games where we should have came away with 3 points, we've not had it. So it was very important we did that tonight.
Yeah, and for the squad to keep battling until the end to get those goals, what does that say about the spirit and the character here?
Well, listen, this is what the manager says. As soon as he's come back in, felt as if we kind of came off it a wee bit, maybe in a comfort zone at times. So it was all about getting back into there and earning the right, because it's so important today. It's particularly at places like this where the crowd's up, and it's going to be difficult. You can't just go and play your football so freely, because there's another management team and players that's going to make it extremely difficult for you. So it's about finding ways to win, and like everybody likes a last minute winner. So it was very important we got it.
Yeah, and on a personal note as well, you must be delighted to come on and obviously have that impact too.
Yeah, of course. Listen, I've worked with a manager for maybe 4 years all in, 3.5 years, and now, so he knows me very well. He knows what I can give to this team and to the squad. And when you're known as starting 11, everybody wants to play, but you're known as starting 11. It's so important that you come on, you try and impact games, and you look at the ability, particularly in the midfield area where I'm trying to get into. It's all about driving the standards and driving the players, and that's what creates a good harmony, and that's what creates winners, and that's our aim at the end of the season, to keep pushing each other.
And it obviously is a quick turnaround into Ross County on Friday. Now, how important is it to take momentum from this heading into that game? Oh, massively. None more so. Tonight we've got 2,000 fans travelling up 5 days before Christmas, and we'll have 1,000, 2,000 coming back up, maybe even more coming back up a day before Christmas. So and getting in at God knows what time in Christmas Eve. So it's important that we get the 3 points on that night. It's so important that we do that, and so important we send everybody happy.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Really good to hear from Scott Arfield, a very positive guy, and he always tries his heart out when he plays for Rangers. Bridge, he has a really positive impact when he comes on, isn't he? He is a good substitute, and some people think he's actually probably better to come off the bench rather than start games at times.
There's a lot of guys think really is just an impact player. I was one of them. I put my hand up, says I wanted him to be signed. Sometimes when I've been watching him sitting up there on the Scotland Road, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, did I make a mistake asking for this? But I think those 2 goals he scored last night, and the other attempts he had, a couple of attempts that the goalkeeper managed to get a hold of. So it wasn't just the goal scored, but the chances to get in and made. It was only in the park a short time, and he's involved in maybe 5 attempts at goal, either through himself or creation. But really and truly, it just showed his worth. And he loves the fans, and the fans love him. And it would not surprise me if he gets an extension. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if he gets an extension to his contract for another season. That's what I would think I would do. Don't know about the other boys listening in Southside, or are we a bit more critical of some of these things. I personally think based on that, just on the result of that game alone, to me, he's kept us in the league to be in the league title race. To be honest, and I think he'll probably get an extension to his contract. I could be wrong, of course. I've been wrong, and a load of times. I'm not boxed where I can say what year it was he was like.
1964.
Exactly.
No, it's 84 for Ox. Stevie, would you give him a new contract, or do you think we just need to wait and see?
Sorry, who be talking about?
Scotty Arfield or Ox?
I don't know if I give Scotty Arfield another contract. No, I think it's time we need to start looking forward to the future, and we need to say part company with these people now. We've been loyal to them. They got their wee extra year this year in my book, when maybe we shouldn't have. Maybe the boys have been loyal to the club, and I think the club's been loyal to them. And I think after this season, it's time for them to all move on. I'm sorry, but some of them have been really good servants, but Rangers, we need to move on, guys, man. We can't take any more of this mob across the other side of the city picking up silverware just because we keep being loyal to people. We'll need time for sentiment. Well, the Rangers, we move on.
Yeah, I suppose, Stevie, we can't be relying on these types of guys. We, as you say, we have to look at the kind of age group of our players, and we need kind of some seasoned pros, people with a bit of experience. He's talked about, as we said earlier, he doesn't want fillers. We need, as you say, guys that have got, lots of running in their legs as well. I'm not saying that Scotty Arfield doesn't, but we do need some players like that, Stevie, don't we? As you say, it's people that can fit right into that starters for our first team.
Listen, we've been talking about, how long ago was it we were talking about no pace in our midfield? We've been moaning about it for a while now. There's absolutely no pace. Our midfield's been overrun. More so when you're in Europe, where the quality steps up a few things up there again, grades up. The bottom line for me is Scotty Arfield's a wee blue nose. He showed that last night, anticipated everything. He came on and he done more than certain players that had been on that full game. He was absolutely brilliant. He had 2 chances before he gets 2 goals. He could have easily done a hat-trick last night. But listen, it's time now to move on. These guys are a lot older now. We're wanting young. We're wanting guys that are experienced, as young as we could possibly get. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for. But no more projects. No more projects. We've got the boys coming through for the B squad. That's enough projects. And for me, we need to start signing a bit of quality. It really's got to be now. It's got to be. Because we can't just keep hanging on. Oh, he's a good player, but he'd be a good squad player and give him another contract. If we'd have left all the players we're talking about duty, talking about Sakala, Scott Wright, Scotty Arfield, all these guys, McGregor, Stephen Davis, think of the wages that frees up to bring 2 or 3 really good players in.
Yeah. Southside?
I think it's wee man turned up last night, come on, impact player, done it against him at Hampden when he came on as a sub. But long term, I think you'll probably have to move him on. Nobody wants to leave a place that you love. But he's a Rangers supporter, just like the rest is. I think he's probably one of your best midfielders going forward in the goal ratio return. He scores in big games. I get all that. But I think going forward, as Stevie was saying, we need to look for a bit better than Scotty Arfield, going forward, as much as I'm doing a wee bit of disservice by saying that. He is intelligent, and he could probably start games, but he doesn't always have to be probably the impact player. Well, the next wee while, if Scotty Arfield started in our 11, I wouldn't have a problem with it, because I know what I would probably get from him if the team's playing well and they're doing well. I know where Scotty Arfield will end up. He'll end up in the box, probably with a shot at goal, and that's where you expect Scotty Arfield today. He's done it for season and season, but going forward, I think we should probably be looking to part ways with him. There will be a big clear out, I think, at the end of the season, but it sounds like we're being negative all the time, but because we've had a good result, and to be honest, Linda, every one of these squad players now that's there and will be there to the summer, will need to go and do a job for Michael Beale well they're there, and that's what we're hoping to do. But the squad 100% needs really refreshed, and sadly we'll just have to say cheerio to some of them. That's what happens in life. We've seen it change many year after year, many decade after decade, so it's just sadly what happens, and we hope to get a new players in and they'll become winners instantly. We're getting trophies back to the club that we love.
Southside, I mean, Michael Beale was saying about Arfield is probably been a bit unlucky not to start, and it's kind of the form of Tillman that's been keeping them out. I don't know about you, but I thought Tillman actually started to play a bit better again in the match last night when Arfield came on, because he had Arfield running ahead of him, and he played that brilliant ball in for the left-footed chance that Arfield had. I mean, do you think there's space for the two of them actually to start in the same team?
I think he probably can fit them in, Linda, to the sort of system like we're going to play. I think Scotty Arfield can play. He is intelligent. You can play him one up. Tillman, I thought, wasn't doing a lot in the game. He started all right, and then he just seemed to fall out the game. But the thing with Tillman is, we know he's got creative feet. We know he can see things other players don't see. And what he does at the end, we can run in a wee circle in the box and then managing to get the ball across. That's probably why he was still on the park, because probably Michael Bull thought if he can get him there, and like you said, he played a nice ball into Arfield, who should probably have scored. He could probably have scored. He should have probably had 4 last night in the time he was on the park. It was unbelievable, So you could play it, but I don't think we'd see it. I think going forward, Linda, if Tom Lawrence comes back available fit, I think you'd probably see they two together before you would see Arfield in one of them.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. So we're heading into the last half hour of the show. It would be good to get a couple of people to come in and give us your thoughts. What about the game last night? Obviously, it was it was a roller coaster, but we got the 3 points, and ultimately is that all that matters? And do we still obviously want to hear, see better performances? So it's 0141 356 1972. Come in and join us. So Bridge, they'll be starting to build up to a big game again, on Friday night in Dingwall, and just really important, Bridge, that we get another victory.
Oh yeah, it would be absolutely superb. I think the Bears will be very, very happy if we get 3 points. That's 3 quite tough games coming, 2 past and 1 to go. And these places aren't easy to go to. We saw last night how difficult Aberdeen could be. And I don't think the Aberdeen team were a very good team in any way, shape or form. I think the quality we've got on the park, we were slightly better than them. But we never showed what quality we've got as a club. We never showed last night. The 2 goals showed what the manager said. That's determination and grit and everything to keep you going, that kind of thing. But we need to win. Obviously, every game we need to win. It's as simple as that. If we get any chance or any thought of winning the league, but we need to start doing it with a wee bit play behind it all, because nail biters are okay and sort of can be quite exciting, but when it's your team is involved, my goodness gracious, it's tough on you. So I'd rather the team started to play better, get Goldson back into some sort of fitness. But it was nice to hear him saying he's only trained once. So I mean, it gives you a wee idea how bad his injury was, and his recovery was quite tough on him. So hopefully he'll gets the next game and it's out his head and he's able to go into better things going forward, because we really could do a solid centre half, and that'll help. And of course, get the other boy, what's his name, Davies, Ben Davies, get him back. So there's your twin centre halves, and let's get on with it and start winning games. And come Ibrox, be ready. Get the defence 100%, be ready. That's what I say. Go for it.
Stevie, you had said earlier as well that it was a bit surprising that if Davies was fit enough to be on the bench, why didn't he start? So surely to goodness, come Friday night, if Connor Golson's recovery is okay and he's come through that game, that's surely going to be the central defensive partnership on Friday. Surely,
but listen, maybe he didn't come on last night for the start because he need game time, right? We get all that. But if you're on that bench, I mean, the way the boy Sands, young Sands was playing, you could see he was breathing through his butt, and he was the wrong choice making and couldn't clear his lines properly. And you've got Ben Davies sitting on the bench. Surely he should be looking to make that change right away. I don't care who you are. If you can see somebody's not having a good game, I mean, they get the foul away to while they get their goal. I mean, Ben Davies, if Connor Goals is playing through the pain barrier and coming back, he's in the squad, he's flinging his cell at things and doing that, surely Ben Davies could have been doing that. I just think there's a lot of things that just make me scratch my head with Rangers but it is what it is. Let's get to January. And let's see if Michael Beale's got his own players in mind and who he's going to bring in. But can I tell you, there's a hell of a lot of deadwood sitting on our benches. Guys like Kemar Roof, Hollander. I mean, much is that in wages. What are these guys on? 35,000 a week, 30 grand a week. Hollander, Kemar Roof, all these kind of people. Which we Alf on? He's no kicked a barn door for us. I mean, you heard Southside, myself, we go to the game. We see, when the telecameras on the only guys, we watch them and we see what they do off the ball and off the camera. And Alf is contributing absolutely nothing. And Bridge is probably right. He's probably that yard or two short and carrying a bit of beef. But you think of the money it's sitting about, lying about their own benches and no really playing well. And listen, we've got to draw a line. We're Glasgow Rangers. See, 1 game in 4 and 1 game in 3, that's no good for our club. These guys need to look in the mirror and they need to come out and do the business for that support, because I'll tell you one thing about that support. They could play at 3 in the morning in the North Pole and there'll be 50,000 bells there. We'll find a way to get there, even if we've got to walk behind a flute band. We'll be there and we'll be there to support them. And we don't get that back for these people. I want to see a bit of grit and determination. I want to see the Rangers moving forward. No time for sentiment. Oh, he was a great player for us. You need to keep him and all this crap. We've got to move on. We've got to cut the deadwood out and we've got to move on.
Absolutely, Stevie. I mean, Southside, it is quite remarkable, right? Connor Golson went off with that injury against Liverpool. Obviously, it was a bad one. And he's actually made it back into the team training, albeit only a couple of sessions before somebody like Kemar Roof. It kind of really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
Aye, Kemar Roof's sick note's a lot longer, innit? I mean, Kemar Roof, we could talk about him all day. Great finisher when he's on the park. He's a natural goal scorer. If he's playing and he's regularly playing in your team, you could guarantee he'd probably get you close to 20 goals a season, I would reckon. But Kemar Roof doesn't even play 20 games a season, you know? So for us, it's no good going forward. Connor Golston, admirable that he came into that game last night. I think there was times in the game when Aberdeen were breaking late in the game and he was trying to get back for when he was going forward in forward positions, but he was struggling a wee bit. I think maybe just my thought that I think him and Davis will probably start, and I think if we could be well up in the game and comfortable in it on Friday night, you could probably take Connor Golston off and put young King on later on in the game, just to maybe give him a wee bit, because you're going to give him another 90 minutes and we could probably give him a wee rest. But I think it's game management with day too, because I think come Old Firm Day, when we're playing that mob at Ibrox, we'll need day 2 in defence, and I will probably need Borna back fit, ready to go, and all systems go. We'll need to have it right and ready, and we'll need to look at a midfield that he's going to look at as well, Lundstrom and that. And obviously Sands will be available for their positions along with the rest of them that's available, so that'll be something else for him to look at. Lundstrom, for me, I think we've had a good 6 months out of Lundstrom. I said he came on last night, don't think he really influenced the game either, along with Scott Wright, but here's another player that will need to be looked at in all attitude and application going forward. And I don't know, he's no one for me that I would take along the ship with me, to be honest, but that'll be down to Michael Beale, because at the end of the day it's his job, it's on the line at the end of the day if he keeps a lot of these players.
You know, Linda, can I just say I would, my thoughts on Scott Arfield and keeping them and whatever, you know. The boys have just given me, Big Stevie and Southside just gave me a right good doing there. And it's probably the worst doing I've had since I get jumped with the Carlton Tongs, I'll tell you. Well, blood's running out of me. The blood's running out of me.
Don't
Well
take
done,
it to
guys.
heart, Bridge. Bridge, what about young Adam Devine? Obviously playing out of position, another one, trying his hardest. I think obviously we hope to get Borna back, because I don't think he would be wanting to go into the New Year game without a kind of a recognised left back. But the young man is trying his hardest, isn't he? And, you know, you can tell he just loves playing for Rangers.
Yeah, it's like there is absolutely no doubt about that, and everybody sees him. And where, you know, you could say a rough diamond, but the truth of the matter is once again you've got a couple of players on your defence, key players in the defence, playing in the wrong positions for them and eventually for the team. Okay, they've stepped in and they're doing the business. And I don't want to take anything away from the boy. I think the boy's going to be a great player for us, and he's determined, and he gets in and he does it. But he's not, shall we say, he's not a Borna whose idea is to attack. When he attacks, he puts a lovely ball into the box. The young lad can't do that. He doesn't have the strength in left foot that Borna has. And that's not to say Borna's the best player in the whole world, but his plan, Borna gets down there, Kent gives him sweet balls out to him, and he crosses him in to a wonder left foot. And that young laddie hasn't got that. He may be a good crosser of the ball from the right. That may be a different ball game there. But no, I'll get nothing but admiration for him. I think he shows everything he got, and he showed quite a bit of pace a couple of times last night and got nice wee tackles in. But there are times, obviously in his game, there are times when he gets caught out because he's only learning. And that's just we're just going to have to put up with that if we don't have a recognised left back there. And it may be, I may say this, it may be that Borna doesn't get back. And the young boy, Redvan, he's no back either for a big game against them. It just might be that the boy's got to play there. And now he's got my support. I don't see him doing anything greatly wrong, but you can see what you've got. It's as clear in the nose in your face. And don't you just wish for a Davy Proven or you know, Arthur Newman, someone like that that could actually play at the left back position, because it's a tough position to play. Hopefully the young boy learns and becomes a great Ranger.
Yeah. Stevie, there is chat about Borna perhaps taking these 2 weeks option for his break. I think he was interviewed in his homeland. I suppose you could say different things to the press back there, but I know he only played the one game, and you're hoping that he just gets himself back here just as quickly as he can, and gets ready to play for us again, eh?
Aye. Listen, the young Staten kid, he's done us proud. He's probably had more game time than he probably thought. The boy's done as well. But let's be honest, as soon as Borna's back and fit, he's the young boy's away. Borna's in the team all day long. The young boy's done us proud. He really has. I mean, you've seen against Aberdeen there a couple of wee times where he maybe 10-yard passes and stuff like that, make the wee odd mistake, but that just comes with experience. He's done his all right. He's been a good stopgap, but as soon as Borna's back, let's hope Borna's back right away and we can get a couple of games under his belt before we play them, and we take it for there. But listen, the young boy Devine can hold his head held high. He's done his family proud, himself proud. But again, I'll just say it one more time. As soon as Borna's back, Borna's in there. And God knows when we'll see the young boy again.
Yeah, absolutely. Southside, you just hope that Borna does get back, because albeit we want the youth to get a chance, but the number of games that people like Adam Devine, King, even Sands, when you think about that, have had to play this season, you just couldn't have written the script for it, eh?
No, it was no hindsight be seen going forward. I think young Adam Devine's come in and done well at left back. It's always a problem when you go into left back, you're right fitted and that. We've seen it with John Flanagan and that. But he done when he was there. But a young boy coming from the academy and coming into big pressure games at Glasgow Rangers, and he's getting his wee chance to now, and he's doing well. Obviously, he'll be going forward. He'll be a right back, pushing Tav, I think probably you'd have a wee bit more confidence in him playing on his natural right hand side, because I think when he bombs down the wing, his natural reaction will be on the rights to swing the ball in or look to cut it back. Whereas we notice when he goes down the left, his left foot isn't as good powerfully getting the ball in the box, so he tends to cut back inside, and that's just because it's what he has to do at the moment. But he's done himself proud, Linda. And I think once we've got Ridvan or Borna back, and I think Borna will definitely be back and play against them at Ibrox, I don't see that not happening. Probably even maybe make Motherwell, but I'll definitely play against them. I think they two will fight it out for left back, and the young boy will go and play it right back. Same with young King. I think once we get the stabilisation at the two centre backs, we'll probably see the young boy come out for a bit of time. And that's just the way it is, Linda. They've had a bit of game time there, and we thought young King would have got it. But I'll no do them any harm, and I'm sure going forward Beale will take the two boys with him.
Southside, I mean, Connor Golson actually made a good point. We were talking earlier about the character of the team, and he said, you know, I know sometimes he can be a bit too honest, but we've obviously witnessed that after the Hibs Cup defeat, but he did say that that's probably two games, these last two games, that we wouldn't have actually managed to get a good positive result, you know, a couple of months ago, obviously under Gio. I would agree with that, would you? We wouldn't have won those two games?
No, probably no. Probably no, to be honest, because let's be honest, a few of the players were all going through the motions, so no, we probably wouldn't have, to be the perfectly honest answer, Linda. But fair play to every one of them. They kept going, and they got a result for us, the supporters and the club and themselves and the manager, because the manager's picking them, he's talking them all up, he's all talking well about them. Doesn't matter what player they mention, he always has a good word to say about them. But deep down going forward, he'll know exactly what he needs, and if he keeps any of them, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't keep Ryan Kent either, and I said it before, but if he does, then that'll be up to Michael Beale. But he always talks favourably, Linda, and that's what you notice about all the players that they ever mention to him.
Yeah. Stevie, would you keep Ryan Kent?
I'm going to say, I wouldn't keep Ryan Jack. There you go. But I would keep Ryan Kent. If you're giving him that free role, he's a different player. Total different player. But if you're going to use him as a winger and keep him hugging that touchline, absolutely not.
Can I say something, Stevie? Sorry, I know I'm jumping in. Can I say something in? See last night? See if that goalie hadn't absolutely fumbled that ball? Because let's be honest, he should have gathered that ball for that shot.
Aye.
Do you honestly think Ryan Kent was producing, threatening?
No, he's not been producing.
Sorry for interrupting me, I just wanted to say that.
No, you're right in saying that. His numbers are atrocious, but we know there's a player in there. We know what he can do. I mean, look what he done to the Dortmund players. Look, I mean, he was running savvy. The year 55, he was outstanding. Players were feeding him. He had Celtic players in his back pocket. The bottom line is, I just think we've been playing a different... The tactics don't suit him, hugging that touchline, but if they're going to give him a free roll, I would keep him. I would really keep him, because he can't get doubled up on. He'd just be pulling defences all over the place if they try to double on him, give him a free roll. So, 100%, I would keep Ryan Kent. I wouldn't keep Alfie. I wouldn't keep Ryan Jack. I wouldn't keep Stephen Davis. I wouldn't keep McGregor. There's a whole list there. Kamer Roof, no good to us. Big Hollander, no good to us. By the way, there's probably about 10 of them I just put against the law, and that's true. So, listen, they've all done is themselves proud, and they've pulled the jersey on and we've supported them. And in flashes, they've all been no bad players for us one way or another. But we can't just keep hanging on to people. They're no good to us. The wages that these guys are, I mean, come on. Ryan Kent, he's still young. He's still got life in him, you know what I mean? So I would definitely keep Ryan Kent. And I don't know about 4-year contracts. I think that's something we need to look at too. And it's giving players 4 years, tabs, the goals, and guys like that, 4-year contracts. I just think, I think that's showing players too much loyalty. I really do. You know, the business side of things, I think that's just too long. You know, but look, it's for our other show. Who would be clear out? Who would we keep? And all the rest of it. But no, you're asking me the question. I'm answering you seriously. I would keep that. I would keep Ryan Kent. I get rid of Ryan Jack. He's done.
Yeah, Bridge, somebody like Ryan Jack, in the second half against Hibs, he played well, he scored that goal and he got himself forward. But then we get the game last night. I didn't think he played particularly well, Bridge, Ryan Jack, and I think that's what you're getting out of him. It's a possibility. It's because the game came only a few days later. And that just is sort of indicative of Ryan Jack's kind of fitness. So for me, I wouldn't be giving Ryan Jack a new contract unless he can prove that he can play and make a contribution the rest of this season, Bridge. I don't think Ryan Jack would get a new contract.
I think based on, obviously, Southside and Big Stevie said a similar thing about Ryan Jack. Ryan Jack has a lot to prove. However, last night was a really tough venue. He was a captain of their club, so the crowd never left him alone, probably most of the night. Maybe deservedly so sometimes, somebody's passing. But I thought he equipped himself not too bad. I'm only considering the rest of the team and how the rest of the team played for big chunks of the game. We were pretty poor. And that may be because Ryan Kent was poor, but it might be the reverse. Maybe he was poor because the rest of the team were poor. But he was there. He was trying his best, I would say. I don't think that one game should be a deciding factor. I don't think it will be. But most assuredly, I think his name's on a short list to leave Rangers. And it's going to happen probably the end of the season. I'm under no illusions about that. But I think looks a lot better and a lot fitter since he came back from his latest injury. And he got an operation and got it all done. So hopefully he's going to get a couple of months and you might see, let's say January, February time, you might see the best of Ryan Jack for us. And I don't know what will happen. Don't know what his future will be then. Because I did, when he came to us, I thought he was going to be our next captain. I really did. But the last night's game, the way he played, was just indicative of the whole game for the Rangers players.
Yeah. So Southside, you guys will be heading up to Dingwall on Friday, and obviously the guys will start to build up to that over the next day or so. But what sort of game are you expecting up there, Southside? I mean, if you think about the last game, I know it was at home, but I think we beat them 4-0. I don't think we had many problems, and it was probably one of our better performances of the season, albeit it was at Ibrox. But it'll probably be quite a tough game, but you would hopefully expect that we would get the victory on Friday.
But as hard as you make it, Linda, isn't it? Friday night game, I know, late at night, but we should be able to go up there and handle it. I think if we impose ourselves and get the ball past, it's about creating chances. And as Stevie says, he fancies Ryan Kent running across the park and that, and I'm waiting for him to create, Stevie, and I respect everything that you say, that, but for me, you two are going to get Beale a sack, man. You want to give Arfield a contract, he wants to give Jack a contract, you want to give Kent a contract. The only thing we agree on is Alfie pick a country and a club in it. But I think we should win comfortably on Friday night, and I'd like to think that we'll get the job done. But it's about application and attitude, and I don't see Jack and Kamara starting on Friday. I think you'll maybe change it up a wee bit. So hopefully we'll dominate the game, and it's hopefully be a chance creation that we'll get a couple and get us out of sight. And it'll be a good journey back down the road, to be honest. They'll make it hard and stuffy. They'll try set pieces, Linda. You know what they're all about. But no, we should be beating Ross County at Ross County.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
A couple of months ago, there was talk about some interest in Glenn Kamara, and he might be leaving the next transfer window in January. Is there any truth in that story, or have we heard anything at all? Was it a lot of rubbish?
Stevie, Southside, anybody, any thoughts on that?
I think that's Oxy's department, isn't it?
I'm glad you said that, because they two tonight, Linda, have killed everybody in the team. Every single person.
I think there was interest in Kamara in the summer, but Gio was quoted as saying, Bridge, that I think he wanted to keep him, and then I think Michael Beale said that the teams that he had heard that were allegedly interested in Kamara, he thought that Kamara should be playing for better teams than those that were interested in him. So I think that was the only wee snippets that we've heard. But I think a lot of fans think that Kamara's got his eye on his next move, Bridge, and he maybe just doesn't want to be playing in Scotland. But I don't know. You don't know what the truth is. It's maybe somewhere in the middle of that south side. I'm not really sure.
He's what's he played? He played at Dundee for a while, and he's been here. He's at that age where he probably maybe a bit sick of playing in Scottish football, and we don't know, and we might want to go and try his luck elsewhere. And if he does, fair play. If we can get, I don't know, you're really looking at the form he's in the now and what he's been in, what they've done for the last wee while. I'll be honest, anything for probably £5-6 million upwards. If it goes to 10, whatever, fine. Probably be people screaming at the radio shouting 15, 20 million. He's got 2 years left, but you're looking at the form and what he's in the now. And Rangers have got to look at, if you get 6 to 8 million, 10 million tops in, I think that'd be decent money. We could go reinvest it elsewhere.
Yeah. Stevie, I would say that would be a deal that we should take, because I know Michael Beale thinks highly of him, Kamara, and he's played well in Europe, but we want players that can, as well as play in Europe, we want them to be able to play well in Scotland, don't we? We need them to play well in our league. We want to win cups, trophies. We need players that can actually play in our country.
Aye, listen, first and foremost, it's our bread and butter. They've got to play here as well. They've got to adapt, haven't we? Well, they've got to adapt to going for playing at Dingwall on a Friday night and then going into the Champions League, They've got to adapt. Unfortunately, we're always going to be punching above our weight when we go to Europe. Glenn Kamara, it's as plain and simple as this, and this goes for any player. See, if you don't want to play for Glasgow Rangers, there's a door. Absolutely. If he's worked his card, then just get rid of him. Me personally, finish international player of the year, Champions League and Europa League final experience, you're talking 10 million quid. Easy. So that's just how I see it, and it doesn't matter what kind of forms, and if he's not too good games, the last couple of games, it goes all the period. Anyway, I think that's how they go with it. But Glenn Kamara doesn't want to be at Rangers, there's a door. But listen, he's one of the guys, when he's on song, he makes the game look easy, And I just wish that players like that, young guys like that, I mean, what age is Glenn Kamara?
Maybe 26,
about 26, 27 maybe.
Aye.
26, 27. They're the kind of international players you want to keep, surely, aren't it? And if he's not wanting his ticket and he does want to stay with us, I'd be happy to give the boy a contract and try and build his confidence up, because I'll tell you, he was scarce of confidence there for a while. And maybe it was just the last regime, I don't know. But Glenn Kamara would be one of the guys I'd be wanting to keep. But again, I get back to it. If you don't want to pull that blue jersey on and play for Rangers, there's the door. I don't care who they are. There's the door. There's no man bigger in the club.
Yeah, spot on, Stevie. Well, guys, we've reached that time of the evening. That's been a quick couple hours, Stevie.
It's been absolutely fantastic. And by the way, I'm going to apologise to all the listeners. I've been totally negative tonight. And normally I'm the one going, come on, get brown sauce on the pie. Here we go, man. Come on, the teddies. But look, we've got to sometimes face the truth. The last 2 games have been, we've not really hit the ground running at all under Beale. We've got by with total determination and guts. A wee bit of guile's got us through all the line. But I'm sorry for being negative, and it's great to be on with you, Linda. You've captained the show well tonight in Bridge. And by the way, that you were lying, by the way, Southside. You did get hot with a seagull supper. So
Southside, you're ready to reply.
It's a privilege to be on with you three, is it no? The real radio legends here, Here, big man, I'm telling you, right. We, as much it was brilliant last night. It was like Aberdeen slam dunk as I text, It was right. That squad's no good enough. You can't be keeping Glenn Kamara's and all that. I know you know this, right? So I don't know what's wrong with you tonight, right? But I know you've got to be positive. And it does sound like probably I've moaned a wee bit to the listeners, but it's facts, and we know, and everybody watches it. If you're watching it the telly or go to Ibrox every other week, you know the squad's got to change and evolve. So sentiment gets in the way, but fair play to the players last night. Absolutely brilliant. Gave the Bears a great journey home. He's been out there, got the result which we needed, and let's continue on Friday night. Let's get right into them Rangers and give everybody a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Well said. Bridgeman.
Well, what can I say? After that, 2 assassinations came out there. Absolutely brilliant. Super. Big Southside, fantastic. And big Stevie with the drum. My buddy. Brilliant. Yeah. Magic what's been on with these. Can you say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here at Rangers Radio, every single one, Friday night, biggest game of the season. So get the build-up going, guys. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers do need us. Keep it going.
Can I thank Stevie and Bridgeman for joining me on the show tonight? Thanks to Southside for calling in and giving us a few stories from last night. Also thanks to Ian, who was a first-time caller earlier on. Do call back again, Ian. It was really great to hear from you.
Brilliant.
Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Thanks to everyone for listening in. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night. Again, talking all things Rangers, building up to a big game on Friday night. So thank you for listening. Good night. Take it away, Old School Blue and Fox.
Oh, every other Saturday, my half day up, and it's up to the match I go. Happily we wander down the Copeland Road, me and my wee pal Joe. Oh, we love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Oh, we won the Scottish League about 1,000 times. The League Cup is simple too. We gave some exhibitions in the Scottish Cup. We gave a Wembley Wizard too. And when the Glasgow Rangers did the European Cup, well, one they had before. Well, Riley, Ryan and Ibrox, 100,000 strong. We'll give the boys an Ibrox roar. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers